ready to explore the Hebrew roots of your Christian faith? Then grab your Bible and let's get started. Shalom. Welcome to Reconcile the Kingdom, where we're working towards becoming a harmony of the whole word of truth. As you know, my name is Patrice Robinson, and I always appreciate anyone who's able to come on live and also those who are on the replay. I appreciate all of you the same. So, recap from last week. As usual, we always start with a recap. Last week, we covered the curse of Cain, not the curse of Ham, the curse of Cain. Still, many people teach that curse of Ham, which I still read in a lot of the commentaries still today. We gone through the descendants of Japheth, which is the third son of Noah. We also went through the descendants of Ham. I'm hoping using the map kind of help people not only have the foundation of what you're seeing, but it helps you understand more about where the people were migrating to. So we're going to try to use that map today. If I remember which one that we use, I'll pull it up. And it also helped us, last week we went over the map of where everyone migrated, and we also looked at the map of comparison of the divided land for the tribes. So we looked at both of those maps last week. So I wonder why, when the Jews went over to Israel back in 1948, why they didn't divide the land according to the tribal land as it is commanded for Yehovah. So remember, they inherit the land and it had to be divided. So today we're going to start with the descendants of Shem. Well, we're going to get to the descendants of Shem, which is the Shemites. So we're going to get a chance to go through his descendants. So I hope you have your Bible with you. Remember, we cannot test what I'm saying or test what anyone is saying without your Bible. So have a pen and paper, anything that you need to do to write notes. Most of us now take notes on our phone. So always study, always be prepared to study. So don't forget, you have opportunity to ask questions at the end of this live broadcast, and you have able to ask questions when you're watching a replay. So don't ask any questions, because most people walk away thinking that they understand everything, and they actually don't understand everything. So I'm most definitely encouraging you to write your questions down and have it ready. Send me a little comment saying that you have a question, if you have a question at the end of this teaching on today. So we're in Genesis chapter 10. We're going to be starting with verse 15 on today. All right. Chapter 10, verse 15. And it reads as, and Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn son, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Gerasite, and the Havite, and the Arkite, and the Sinite, and the Orvadkite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite, and afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. Those names again. And remember that all the ites that's coming from the Canaan family, those are the people. Remember, this land their land was promised to Abraham and his descendants. So all those ites that you read in the book of Numbers and Exodus and Deuteronomy, Joshua, and also other places, these are the Canaan's family, his bloodline. So he was cursed, and this curse was fulfilled with the land that was given, promised to him when the children of Israel conquered a majority of that land. Verse 19. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou comest to Gerar, unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah and Admah and Zobam, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham after their families, in their tongues, in their countries, and in their nations. So that is the land of Canaan. I'm still going to try to pull up this map as I continue on. I know this is one map, but I think we was on this map last time. So when I was reading names off, it showed you where Canaanite's family went as we were talking about that, because you see people of Canaan, it has a little square here. So this is where the show you where the Canaanite's family had went. We on verse 21 of Genesis. It's important to understand this information because you understand the Bible, you get, and all you're getting understanding. And so you don't want to just be well, you're going to start off just reading first, and then you're going to go into, as a student, you are going to start researching things in the Bible so you can get foundation, and that you won't be tossed and fro to and fro with someone else teaching you the wrong thing. And you're supposed to have the ability, or learning the ability, to be able to test what someone is saying. So that's important. Verse 21. Unto Shem also the father of the children of Eber, the brother David, the older, even to him were children born. Now, Eber was not the son of Shem, but we see unto Shem also the father of all the children of Eber. Eber is Shem's great grandson, but the writer Moses is getting you prepared to understand this bloodline. So again, you're going to see as we continue to read that Eber, or Eber for some people, that he is not the son of Shem, but he is the great grandson of Shem. We're going to continue. Verse 22. Then the children of Shem, Elam, Ashur, Apexphad, Lud, Aram. So Shem had 5 children: Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram is Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. And Appaxad begot Shelah, and Shelah begot Eber. So Shelah, or Shelah, these names can be pronounced so many different ways. He is the father of Shelah, is the father of Eber. So that's like Eber was born from the third son of Shem. We're gonna continue, verse 10. Eber is, again, it's the 4th generation. We have Shem, Amram, Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber, and Moses most definitely was highlighting the bloodline of Eber. Important to understand that. So here, as you're looking at the map here, as I was reading those names off, this is Shem's land that they inherited from the Canaanites. I mean, not from the Canaanites. This is the land that they have migrated to, as we continue to find out where they had left because the land was divided, which is verse 25. Unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother name was Joktan. So I understand that when we read that this is when the earth was divided, I know when I grew up, the teaching was that's when the land crust broken off. This is why we have, the northern and southern America, and then we have Africa and all these other places that's broken off. That's what I learned when the earth was divided, that's when this happened, when Peleg was in his time. But that's not what the Bible's talking about. Moses point out the time of Peleg. This is the time of the division of man. So during the time that Peleg was around, this is when after the Tower of Babel, and everyone has split off. So this is what this is talking about. How Yehovah um, divided the people. He gave them different languages. So you'll find this in Deuteronomy 32:8. I'm going to read it to you. When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, it's the nations, and he separated the sons of mankind, he set the boundaries of the peoples according to the number of the sons of Israel. So this is when he had divided the land. Verse 26. And remember, these are the names that we're going to talk about here when Shem divided his bloodline, came into this area that I'm highlighting right here. And Jotham begot Almadad and Sepha and Hasmoth and Jerah and Hadoram, Uzal and Diklan and Obel and Abamel and Sheba and Ophir and Havilah and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan. So now we're following Joktan's bloodline and not Peleg's bloodline. And their dwellings was of Mesha as though goes into Sophar, a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem and their families and their tongues in the lands after their nations. I'm telling you, these names can be complicated. And sometimes I think I make it more complicated than it needs to be. Verse 32, these are the family sons of Noah after their generation in their nations, and by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. So the earth was totally populated by Noah's sons, which means that the entire earth, the entire population of every person that is on earth, that's been on earth and will come in the future on the earth, those that will be born, we all related to one particular family. We all kin. We're just all related, and we have to understand that. Maybe that will help us kind of respect each other just a little bit more. And I truly, truly, truly hope so. So now we go into Genesis chapter 11. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar. Remember, Shinar is the land of Babylon. So everyone went into Babylon and they dwelt there. It was one language. They joined together and they went, and they was all in this Shinar land, which is Babylon. Verse 3 of Genesis chapter 11. And they said to one another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach into heaven. And let us make us a name. So I question that. So they wanted to make themselves famous, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. What I didn't understand, and maybe I need to go in deeper study in this, why did they need to make, they were all one language, one people. Who was they making famous? What people were they was making famous? Who was trying to dominate one or another in order to make themselves famous? That is the question that I had. I just didn't understand, and I still don't fully understand who wants to make themselves so important, who wanted to be over someone, because, or did someone have a prophecy that they're going to be scattered, and so they was trying not to be scattered, and so they thought they was going to build this tower to reach up to the heaven. I don't know. Put their fists up to God and say, you're not going to scatter it, because what ended up happening? They end up getting scattered. So maybe that was a fear of them. Maybe someone was prophesying. Because remember, the first place that we find someone prophesying that we know of in the Bible is Enoch, which is the seventh son from Adam. So Enoch was prophesying, and you'll find that in the book of Jude. So anyway, they still end up getting scattered. And verse 5, and Yehovah came down. Remember that capital Lord is Yehovah. Came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built. And Yehovah said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Now, I did think about this, them not understanding one another's speech, because as you see in the Bible, they still communicated with one another. So they eventually learn each other's language, or what language which each one of them speaking. And we're going to get into that as we continue on, as we follow Abraham. We're going to start looking at who communicated with who. Verse 8. So Yehovah scattered them abroad from this upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city, because they couldn't build anymore, because they didn't understand each other's language. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because Yehovah did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord Yehovah scatter them abroad upon the face of all earth. Now, what we read in here on verse 8 and 9, when he scattered mankind abroad and changed their language, confound their language, this is what was happening in the time Peleg was around. So, this even happened before Eber and all of them came into play. So that's the time that the earth was divided. So I'm hoping that this map that we're looking at, as we are, at least as I'm attempting to pronounce the names, and we see that how everyone has scattered abroad in different places, and we kind of understand where Japheth's family went up, his bloodline went up north, and we learned how this is the Greeks, this is the European family that went up north, and the Medes and the Russians and Poland and Hungary, and all these are descendants of Japheth. And so we talked about Ham, how all of these the family of Ham, we have some of the descendants from Ethiopia. These are descendants of Ethiopia, Egypt, Lebanon. And remember, Canaan is the descendant of Ham. So all those ites came from the descendants of Ham. And then today we read about Shem, the Shemites. It's not just the children of Israel that are a Shemite. So, because Shem had a total of 5 sons. So all 5 of his sons plus their descendants or Shemite. So it's important to understand that that is not only the children of Israel. So I'm hoping that we are really getting something out of what we are reading, and that we're learning about the bloodlines, because what you are noticing that there is particular bloodlines that the Bible is following. And this is why the writer Moses, like in verse 21, unto Shem also the father of the children of Eber. So he's pointing out Eber to getting you ready that is the bloodline that we will be following, which came from Joktan and not Peleg. So I'm hoping that you will continue to take your studies further than what I'm taking it, and that you would most definitely use a map as you're reading the word of Yehovah, because that actually gives you a better understanding of what you're reading, and you get more information out of it. And all you're getting understanding, and that's important. So I'm hoping that you are truly enjoying this journey through the word of Yehovah that we're taking slowly through the Torah. It's important to go slowly because we understand more and we get a grasp of more by going through slowly. So don't forget to join me on Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. We will be going the year end, and I encourage you to join me then so that you also can ask questions about the whole year. Those questions and things can be addressed then, and what we're looking forward to this next biblical year. So we're going to be going over that. So I am most definitely excited about the next year and where that's going to lead us to. As always, man does not live by bread alone, but he lives by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yehovah. And that means the Torah is the word of Yehovah, and you have to continue on learning that. So I pray that you have a blessed rest of the week and that I will see you on Saturday morning. And thank you for watching here on today. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you.